What's up, guys? Welcome back to Let Joe Talk. As always, I'm Joseph Pro. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to be watching me rambling on. And today I'm rambling for a good reason. So after a couple serious topics the past couple of weeks, I want to talk about the DC Extended Universe and where things are going after Justice League. Now, this being the 10th episode of Let Joe Talk, I'm actually surprised I actually got to 10 episodes. I was only expecting like 5, but we're at 10. So I want to kind of call back to the very first episode where I talked about how comic book movies are hitting a golden age. And I recorded that back before Ragnarok. So I was right on the mark with Ragnarok. I kind of missed the mark on Justice League. Now, this isn't a review. I'm not going to review Justice League at all. I'm just going to say this about the movie. It was good. It has its problems, but it was good. I could call this year a victory. Sure, Justice League is going to be looked back now on the studio interference, on all the changes in production, of all the backlash, of all... It's the product of a lot of bad things. But it was still okay at the end of the day. I think if you just go in with no expectations, it'll be fun. That's all I can really say about the movie. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch Justice League, because literally right now, the fate of the DCEU kind of hinges on Justice League and what happens next afterwards. So... if you haven't heard the news, so Justice League isn't doing that well box office-wise. It just hit 500 million at the time of this video is recording. So the question on everyone's mind is that how much money can Justice League make? Because as everyone knows, Star Wars is coming out in 2 weeks. Oh wait, yeah, 2-3 weeks. So just think about that. When Star Wars hit, that's it. No other movie that comes out around that time period is going to do shit. Because Star Wars, I'm going to make the biggest bet of the year. It will make $2 billion again. And if it doesn't, well, I'll save myself the trouble next year. So the question on everyone's mind is how much can Justice League make and how much is Warner Bros. Going to lose? Because here's the thing. Justice League is it's like DC's versions of the Avengers. And the Avengers hit 1.5 billion. Hell, by this point, it should have already made 800 to 900 million. It should have already been the highest grossing DC EU film of all time. It hasn't. We haven't reached that point yet. Hell, it's not even surpassed Man of Steel. That's how long this is taking. And the thing that was different between Suicide Squad and Wonder Woman, they had a longer track period of no real competition, because they both came out at relatively good times where there really wasn't that much major competition, so they were able to get money back. Justice League, sadly, came off of Ragnarok, and it's coming before Star Wars, and it's... Hell, even Coco beat it. Yes, an animated film beat a superhero film just in its second week. And usually superhero films do very well in terms of being number one for at least 2 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks, possibly. Not Justice League. Only number one for a week, then it got beat by Coco. So, now that Justice League is done, it's out. I mean, a lot of people went into Justice League fearing that this movie was going to not be that good. And I said this before, it's an okay film. It's not the best film out there. It is, on my regards, my second favorite DCEU movie of the bunch. That doesn't really give it much of a competition to work with. Suicide Squad was awful. Batman v Superman wasn't that good. And what was the other one? Man of Steel was okay. Justice League is better than Man of Steel, but it's not as great as Wonder Woman. So that doesn't really, again, not the best competition in the world, not the best, partners to be next to, but this is what we're facing with right now. Now, after this, we have Aquaman. And the thing about Aquaman is that, again, no spoilers, no reviews for Justice League. Aquaman was decent in Justice League, to be fair. I mean, he did what we were expecting him to do. Make wisecrack, be one of the funny guys in the group, and he did that. And the question is, okay, how does that carry over into his solo film, which will be coming out literally more than a year? Yikes. In this environment, you need to kind of have some type of consistency. And so we're not getting the next DCEU film for almost more than a year. And that's a little troubling, because it was originally supposed to be coming out in October, but then they pushed it back to December. I would tell Warner Bros. Move it back to October, because the problem with December is that it's really far away. And I get it, special effects take time, post-production takes a long time. But the problem is, when you have... Now, here's the thing. The MCU did go through that stretch when it was starting out. When after Iron Man Incredible Hulk came out, we had a year gap. We had a 2-year gap. Because we didn't get Iron Man 2 until 2010, and this started back in 2008. And then, of course, after Avengers, we had to wait exactly a year for the next one. So I get it, it's growing pains, I get that, but the problem is, they gotta rush it a little bit. Not that much, but it's like enough to push. Because remember, they took a 3-year fucking break from Man of Steel to Batman v Superman. 3 fucking years. I mean, I get these films take time, but think about it. If they were willing to catch up with Marvel, they should have done a much better job already. However, granted, now the argument is going to be, well, let them take their time. Let them come up with a battle plan to take on Marvel. Where's the battle plan? I mean, now that I'm thinking about it more, there was really no concise... Like, let's take the first 5 films as an arc. Let's call these arcs. Arc 1 was from Man of Steel, Superman's origin story. Then he goes to meet this Cape Crusader that we all know about. We don't know about this version. And then Wonder Woman, which we're seeing for the big screen the first time in forever. Then was Suicide Squad, which was the first villain team up. Now, granted, yes, Warner Bros. Now holds the title of being the first super villain team film, and the first female superhero solo film. And I mean, one of them worked. Wonder Woman did work. Suicide Squad didn't obviously work. I would have taken the Sinister Six spinoff that was supposed to happen with the Amazing Spider-Man series, but again, another story for another time. And so we went from an origin story to a pseudo team up or pseudo versus movie, then a super villain team, and then another origin story, and then the big team up. Again, I mean, the thing is, I'll say this about Justice League. Not really spoilers. I don't feel anything with half of these characters. Superman, okay. Wonder Woman, definitely. The Batman, happily, because, I have no fucking clue if Ben Affleck's going to come back after this one. Really don't know. I mean, there's the Batman solo film, but is he going to be involved in it? Who fucking knows? At this point, it's once the cameras start rolling, we get the official production stills. Then we'll start confirming that. And Aquaman, Cyborg, The Flash. I mean, the Flash is the only one anyone else would know about from the CW show. But this is a whole new version of it because they have to be different. For example, Flash in the show has the orange lightning. This one has blue lightning. And I never even heard. I know Cyborg from Teen Titans back in the day, and then Aquaman has been the memes of like the most shitty superhero since for a long time. And it's like I don't really care. I mean, I don't know these characters enough to care about them in this team up, because when the Avengers did it, we got Iron Man, we got Cap, we got Thor, we got Hulk, we got their movies. We know who those characters are. So going into this environment where they have to team up with these other heroes, we kind of understood why. But in this film, it didn't really work because we only knew Batman and Wonder Woman were the ones assembling the team. We knew Wonder Woman standards, obviously. Hell, there was a lot of Wonder Woman references to this one. It's like, where are the Aquaman references? Where are the Flash? Oh yeah, because they didn't get a fucking solo film. Their films are coming afterwards. Which I get. I mean, that's going to be DC's answer. Like, let's do the team-up films first and then go into the solo film. But there was no investment, really. There wasn't an investment to these characters because they're coming out of nowhere. Sure, you're going to say, oh, they made a cameo in Batman v Superman. They did for like 10, 20 fucking seconds. And then after that, they ran off or got away from the screen. And then that was it. That's not really the best setup in the world. Now, moving on to... Now, back to what I was saying before about Aquaman. That's not coming out for a year. Now, granted, James Wan did direct Fury 7, which I did see. It was a pretty good film. So, and he has done some pretty solid horror films in his day. So I give him the chance of the benefit of the doubt. I mean, we had only 3 directors in the DCEU. We had Zack Snyder, who did 3 of them, and David Ayer and Patty Jenkins, who did 1. So there's a 50-50 chance with outside directors outside of Schneider. I hope James Wan can deliver. I hope. And even the new guy, the director for Shazam, already is very well aware his film might not at least sit well with the whole Shazam fan base, because he said that, a lot of people are divisive, a lot of people are, like, they have their own different opinions of how Shazam should be done. He's like, well, he's going to obviously go with one approach, and whatever that approach is will satisfy majority fans and will dissatisfy some other fans, but who really knows? So he's already prepared for that. And then we have Matt Reeves, which I said before. Matt Reeves can do no wrong. He has done 2 amazing Planet of the Apes films in recent memories. I give him high hopes for the Batman, if Ben Affleck's involved, or who else they're going to cast. And yeah, and the thing I was literally talking about George a couple nights ago is we made fun of the fact that Warner Bros. Has announced as many films as Marvel has released that many films. Yes, let that sit in. Warner Bros. Announced as many films right now as Marvel has just released that same amount of movies. There's a problem there. There's obviously a problem there. Because when again, I know there, a lot of people hate when you compare Marvel to DC, but here's the thing. I talked about this before. Don't announce stuff and not make them. Granted, Marvel did one. They announced Inhumans. That was going to be a movie. Never happened. Became a shitty TV show, which I watched. Really bad. That was an exception. But DC, let's think about it. DC has announced, on the top of my head, because I know there's a lot more I'm going to be missing. They announced a Black Adam movie. They announced a Flashpoint movie. They announced a Man of Steel sequel, a Justice League sequel, a Suicide Squad 2, Deadshot movie, Deathstroke movie, Harley Quinn and the Joker, Gotham City Sirens, a Birds of Prey movie, the Batgirl movie. That's it. I know there's more out there. I know that, but that's all that's a lot they announced, and there is no production standpoint on that. Like, besides Aquaman and Shazam, I mean, there's no other progression because they're all waiting. Like, should we do this movie? Because that's the problem. Don't announce movies. And some of these movies weren't even announced directly by Warner Bros. They were announced by some actor, some producer. Like, oh, it's happening. Hell, this isn't a joke. Margot Robbie literally has 4 Harley Quinn movies in development right now. Think about that. She's already have 4 of them, and she's already executive producer on 1 of them. Gotham City Sirens, Bird of Prey, Harley Quinn and the Joker, and Suicide Squad 2. When are we going to see her next? Obviously, I don't fucking know. Could be. I'm putting my money on Suicide Squad 2 because that happened. There's a director on board. And that's the thing. Just because a director's on board doesn't mean the movie's going to happen. G.I. Joe 3 had a director for a long time ago. Where's that movie? I don't fucking know. Not happening. So, I believe now in the philosophy George has said. A movie's not going to come out until it begins production. And even when that happens, you don't even fucking know. Like, once the movie is out in the world, that's when it happens. And that's going to be the question we're going to go into now, going into 2018. What is the question? Now, backtrack that for a second. My question is now, what the hell are Warner Bros. Going to do at their San Diego Comic-Con 2018 presentation? Like, are they going to... I would love for them to just sit down with their fans and tell them, okay, look, we may have announced a little bit way too many movies that we have on our plate right now, so here's an updated version of the films that are definitely coming out. Do like a Marvel style, like just announce like what's coming up next after Aquaman and Shazam. Announce officially the Batman release date. Announce the Batgirl film. Announce the movies they are going to make officially, because it gets annoying every single other month where we get an announcement like, oh, they might do this movie, or oh, this movie has a casting problem, or this one has an update. Like, no, I just want to hear, give me an official release date, give me the slate, and that's it. Just give me a slate. At least simplify this list of 20 plus movies you have announced / in production now / you're going to make, and condense it down to a manageable 6 or 7. Because I remember back in 2014, October 2014, when Marvel announced their full Phase 3 slate. Well, full at the time because Spider wasn't there yet, Ant-Man 2 wasn't announced yet, and Inhumans was, but you got my drift. They at least announced the 6, 7, 8 films they were going to work on, and majority of them did happen / they are going to happen / they had happened. Just condense it enough to the point where, okay, this is manageable. I'm going to say cut out a couple of the Margot Robbie projects. Personally, I would say cut out Birds of Prey, because I remember the TV show. Granted, I didn't watch the TV show, but I know its existence, and like, fans are going to understand this. They aren't really. Gotham City Sirens, possibly, but that's mostly on sex appeal, which I don't think the DCEU can handle right now, given how there's a lot of different styles they're doing, and it's not working right now. So I don't think they should do that. That's the thing. Like, that's the thing. When you're cutting out a movie, it's kind of hard because there's always that one fan who really is hyped for that movie, and when that film gets canceled, they're kind of pissed off, or at least delayed indefinitely. I would say cut out the Deadshot movie, even though Will Smith's a money grabber. He's not really much. I mean, he's an attention grabber, but he's not a money grabber per se, if you know what I mean. Because again, like I said, like, don't spin off too many characters. Just don't. Yeah, just condense to the what you for Warner Bros. They need to just simplify their slate, cut out a lot of the movies. I'm going to say cut out 10 of those movies. Or at least just say, we're going to work on these movies at a later time, but right now, our priorities are elsewhere. Because after Justice League, I don't even know what's going on in their minds right now. We're getting rumors, we're getting reports, but nothing's confirmed officially until we hear something from them. And I am very curious, because for DC, they are losing badly on the movie front. Marvel is leaps ahead of them. Hell, everyone already forgot about Justice League. The Avengers Infinity War trailer came out. Who's even talking about Justice League anymore? And that's funny to think about. We just had a Justice League movie, and people are already focusing on the next Avengers movie. That's freaking crazy. At least in my sense. So, again, I still hope the DCU can turn the ship around. I hope Justice League was the last learning lesson to say, okay, we know what we're going to do, let's focus on that. So I'm hoping Aquaman will hopefully start a new wave of great DC films, hopefully. Again, we will not hear anything more about this front until next year, so we're just going to hope. And that's all we can do right now. And literally, as that's what literally Superman stands for. That was not a joke. I just literally came up with that. Alright guys, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you like this video, like it, share it, subscribe for more Let Joe Talk. We're wrapping up the year pretty soon. We got 2 more episodes left on the docket for the 2017 run of Let Joe Talk. So I'll see you guys next week.